FinTech in 2025, it's one of the highest paying areas, and it's very competitive to get into. So, what are the tips and tricks that you might need to know to get in? So, I'm going to share my perspective. I've interviewed as a candidate, and also I have taken many interviews at these firms for different experience levels. So, what do I think that these guys are looking for? So, first of all, like a regular tech job, this is the fundamental thing. You gotta sharpen your algorithm and data structure skills. You gotta go and prep on websites like Lead Code or Algo Expert or whatever it might be. And you gotta make sure that you can solve the medium level difficulty questions, and especially those that are around the low level design. I would not worry too much about the ones that involve a lot of mathematical tricks or brain teasers, but I think you definitely have to solve the ones which test your core understanding of algorithms and data structures, like with trees or with linked lists or arrays or and so on. All of these kind of questions, and you got to be able to code that in a reasonable time frame. And most importantly, you are being judged more on this actually, that you have to be very clear in what you are doing and what your solution is. You have to communicate that very well to your interviewer. So always remember, and this is the next point now, that apart from the coding skills, the way that you communicate and how you explain your solution is very important. Did you think of all the edge cases, and did you reason well about your code? Apart from that, always remember that the interviewer, they are thinking about that, do they want to work with you day to day? So even simple things like have a smile, uh, sound as if you are interested in the role. You have to always show that excitement and enthusiasm. Don't look bored. So that's the other soft skill that I would advise you guys about. The next thing is that show some understanding, and this is now specific to fintech. It's good. It will give you an advantage if you have some domain knowledge about finance and the systems you're dealing with. Remember that in a fintech company, you are not the most important person in the company per se. That would be perhaps the traders or the brokers or whoever it is in the firm that you're in. You are building software to support those people. So it is important that you understand the domain, what exactly those guys do. You don't have to become a trader, but at least if you speak their language a bit, that would be helpful. So for that, I would just read up on some financial news about like the Wall Street Journal or the Economist, and just find out about what's going on. And you probably want to understand more about financial products, like how does the stock market work, how do derivative products work, like futures and options and so on. So this is so. By the way, remember what I said first is the fundamental step, and this all comes afterwards. So I would first focus on your core algorithmic skills, and then as a next step, you go into the finance domain. And the last tip that I have is focus on system design and how you design a robust and scalable systems. So you have a lot of people and they can solve maybe lead code problems, and that's perhaps fine for a new graduate. But if you are more experienced, especially, you are got to be tested more on, can you actually design a robust system that can that will not fail. And so expect questions like, how do you deal with processing trades out of order, and how do you make sure that you never lose any data? So you got to have your good system design understanding. And for example, you might get asked, when is it better to use a columnar storage for a database versus a row-based storage? So you got to understand that, and operating system level knowledge. How does the CPU really work? How does the L1, L2, L3 caches work? How does networking work? With multicast and unicast, and so on. And also like real world examples of what you might have done in your previous projects. How do you have your observability and logging in case anything goes wrong? So that's the last step, and that's more focused at the experienced engineers. But if you want to really shine as a new grad, then you can do that. But don't forget to nail down the fundamentals first. Don't forget about that. So I think that is basically my advice. If you guys have questions or you want to know anything more, then yeah, feel free to comment and I will do my best to help you guys out. Thank you. Bye.